Fact of the matter is, I am now on a Windows machine for my streaming. What I found is that the Windows setup is actually better for streaming. One of the problems I was having back in 2015 was I didn't want to stream on a webcam. So in 2015, I started to look for capture cards. I was searching high and low and I was seeing capture cards, but most of it was like Windows. It was like Windows stuff. Like today, you can get a 4K capture card for $100 from Elgato. There just weren't tons of options in 2015. Couple new things in the studio, and I'm trying to work out some kinks in the lab. One of the new things that I am working with now, I have a new computer in the studio actually. Um, I switched over to a PC, and the Windows PC is being used primarily for streaming. Um, so I still have my Mac over here, but then I've also now got a Windows PC. What I found is that the Windows setup is actually better for streaming, and I knew that for years, and I just kind of like put it off, like because even I've known. I'll tell you, I've known it since by about 2015. By about 2015, I started to want to do more streaming again. And one of the problems I was having back in 2015 was I didn't want to stream on a webcam. I know a lot of guys hook up a webcam to a computer and they get an angle and that is their setup. And it's cool. I wanted to do more than that. I didn't want to just have a single camera, single webcam, and just have everything going off of that. So in 2015, I started to look for capture cards, and I found that it was very difficult in 2015 to locate a capture card a um, for a Mac. There weren't a lot of options. There just weren't tons of options in 2015. It wasn't that mature of a market in 2015. So what happened is I was searching high and low and I was seeing capture cards, but most of it was like Windows. It was like Windows stuff. And I finally found a capture card. Actually, no. The first capture card I got was this like Elgato capture card, which was okay. But then I wanted to do multicam because I was like, I could just a single cam is cool. And you can see like some of my old stuff on my main Ultra West YouTube channel. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Jay Myrax of UltraWest.com. Um, this year is a new year, 2017. Single cam is cool, but I wanted something that gave me ability to do multicam. So then at that time the computer wouldn't support two of those Elgatos. So I had to find something else, and that's where it got really tough. Like Elgato was cool for a single situation, but not for multicam at that time. So then I found one option that was Mac OS compatible, or OS X, not Mac OS, OS X compatible. And that was a device called Magewell. So this is a capture card that I got in 2016. This was like one of the only ones that was like compatible with Mac at that time that allowed me to run multiple and had the right resolution and all that stuff too that I wanted to have. So I got one of them, and I mean, let me tell you, that thing was $300 for one. Like today, You can get a 4K capture card for $100 from Elgato. Not in 2016. Not in 2016. 2016, it was like, nope. So sorry for you. So yeah, I ended up having to get one of those for $300. Tested it out. It worked. So then I bought another one. So then I had two of them. Spent $600 on two of these Magewell so I can do a multicam setup. That was because I was on Mac. If I was on Windows, I could have just got there were capture cards available. I could have got capture cards that, I could have got PCI Express cards or, like external cards or whatever, and I would have been straight. So anyhow, that was when I found out, like, you know what? Windows is way easier to stream on than Mac. But I wasn't ready to go back to Windows. I wasn't ready. I was prioritizing a lot of other stuff. I could have gone back years ago, but I was like kind of beating around the bush and trying other stuff. So then after I did this Magewell thing for years, then I played with this other device called the YOLO box. So yeah, I ended up getting this, and I was running streams off of this during kind of like the pandemic era. And this one was cool. It allowed me to run like the reason I liked this one was because this one allowed me to basically stream without taxing my music computer. So, and that was important because obviously, I'm a music producer. I want to be able to create without having to manage the resources for video capture and recording as well. Because doing all that at the same time is just like it's a lot. It's a lot on anybody's computer. You're capturing video and then you're still trying to record audio and not have it like jitter and glitch and do weird stuff as you're trying to actually make music. I had this YOLO box for some time, and this one accepts 3 cameras, which was cool. It's actually nice, but it wasn't perfect. It started to get a little bit noisy, and then after a while, what happened with this? Because I got the Pro. What happened with this joint is number one, it had I had such a hard time with finding the right power supply because they didn't ship it. Like the nerve of them to not ship it with the right power supply so that it can get continuous power while you're streaming. They basically kind of beat around the bush and said, "Oh well, you just need to find a power supply that does this X Y Z, and and that'll work." And so I played with multiple power supplies, and what used to happen is you charge it up, you start going, and then because the power supply is not the right power supply, it's not getting enough continuous power to stay charged while you're streaming. So I would lose power, after about 2 hours of streaming or an hour and a half of streaming, it's pretty much a wrap. So I had to hunt for the right power supply. Finally found a power supply that could give it continuous power so that I would not lose power while I was streaming. So that I used that until about 2023 actually. And what happened with this particular device is because it has an internal battery. The battery swole up on me. And they don't have a system where you can just replace the battery on your own. The whole thing is, oh, if the battery swells up, you got to send it to us to replace it. So I have this thing and it's like, okay, here's how to fix your dead battery, right? So they give you a warranty of 12 months. My battery went out by about year 3. Didn't mishandle it. It stayed in the studio. But here we go now. If you want to repair your battery outside of the warranty, you need to spend $150 USD plus one-way shipping. Now I haven't found out what the one-way shipping is, but I'm imagining it's not going to be cheap to do so, considering I think they are somewhere in Asia. I don't want to misquote them on like, and I should just contact and find out how much the one-way shipping is to their repair center. But at that point, I was like, this is not good. Like this whole situation where the battery swole up on me, and now I can't really use this in confidence because the battery is swollen. I discontinued it because once the battery swells, that fan is going to come on more because the whole system is getting hotter now because like the heat. I think the battery swelled up because of heat, so now the fan is going to keep running now, and it's already bad enough. You get air conditioner comes on, that's noise that's going to come into the stream. But that fan is like it's got like too much of a hum, and I didn't want that, so I discontinued it. But that was a standalone device that had a battery. Fact of the matter is, I am now on a Windows machine for my streaming. I'm still configuring things. I have most of it set up the way I want. Have most of it set up how I need now. Um, let's see, I got my main cam. I got uh, my back cam here. So that's my back cam. I have my overhead cam. Boom. The only thing that I'm having a problem with right now is getting my Mac back on the I'm having a problem with having a consistent Mac feed. So I had I have another capture card that's connected to my Mac Studio so that I can run an output of the HDMI from the Mac Studio into this PC. But that seems not to be working for whatever reason. Like it's super inconsistent right now. So like, yeah, this particular feed, normally I should be able to see the um the Mac Studio, but yeah, it's not working. So I'm like, maybe it could be a couple things here. It could be a power save setting with the Mac Studio. It could be a problem with the actual HDMI that I'm using because I'm using like a hub that gives me a second HDMI. Or it could be the capture card itself doesn't like this Mac Studio setup. So still some troubleshooting to do, but I'm almost 100% where I want this streaming setup to be. So yeah, but the PC is cool. Like I haven't really haven't been on a PC in quite some time, and it's very I have to remember certain things. So sometimes when I'm even typing and I'm like trying to hit key commands, I'm like, oh shoot, I'm hitting the wrong button. Hitting the wrong button. Cause I've just been using Mac for about 20 years. Yeah, 20 years this year that I've been on the Mac, and for music it's cool. I just think for other stuff it's not ideal.